Yeah, welcome, Julius, to our podcast interview. Today we have Julius with us from NerdMiner. It will be a very interesting interview. If you want to learn more about how to make money with Bitcoin, especially regarding mining, and to learn more about mining, plus, to talk just in this podcast regarding the maybe updated topics regarding Bitcoin, the current topics which are in our head. So warm welcome to you, Julius. Maybe you can say a few words about yourself. I see that you're posting on Instagram very sportive videos and also very Bitcoin related topics, plus you're very nice looking miner. So maybe you want to give us a little bit of insights regarding your life and your Bitcoin relation.
First of all, thank you guys for having me, Christoph and Kai. And yes, what are we doing? So I'm the co-founder of NerdMiner DE. We did not write the code for the software NerdMiner. It was BitMaker, but it's open source code, so everyone can see it, everyone can use it. And one day we built our own NerdMiner, and I posted a story about this NerdMiner, and I just recognized it got more views and likes than usual stories that I do. And then we just built a landing page without a product picture, product photo, without everything basically. Just the name NerdMiner DE. This is what we're doing. We are selling this and this mine, and if you're interested, you can purchase one. You can buy one, and this went pretty well. And I think the reason why it went pretty well is that for a lot of guys, I guess 95%, still Bitcoin is like Fugazi digital internet money, and a lot of guys don't even know what to do with it, basically. And then you hear from the news like it's like criminal money and it wastes a lot of energy and all this Fugazi, maybe not information. So I think why NerdMiner is so successful is because people can grab it, people can use it, people can play with it. I just have one here, maybe I can show it to the camera. It's just like this little device. It costs about 69 euros, and you can try to mine Bitcoin with this one and have a like broad overview over the Bitcoin network, like how much is transaction fees, what is the global hash rate, how many more blocks to the next halving, and this kind of stuff. So it's just like a fun gadget. And then we built more miners and stronger miners, and now we're here, and I'm talking to you guys in this podcast. And maybe, as you can recognize, I'm excited. Yeah.
Wonderful to have you here, and you have a very interesting product. And well, what is your typical client in your customers? Mm-hmm. What kind of clients do you have?
At the beginning, we thought maybe what's the typical client for a Bitcoin product? Maybe a guy between 20 and 35. But now we also have customers like they are like, what's a typical German name, like Waltraud, and she's 80 and buying a full node from us. Yeah. So we have customers from 18 to 80, but I guess our main customer is someone who just wants to have a look into the Bitcoin space, who just loves trial and error, just doing things by themselves. Don't trust a third party. Yeah, just experience everything by themselves. And yeah, like I said, but I guess I don't know what's the exact customer we're selling the most miners to, but like I said, it's from 18 to 80 and male and female.
Yeah, I also would be interesting to learn a little bit about your Bitcoin journey. Maybe you can take us a little bit. When did you discover Bitcoin, and what actually convinced you with regards to Bitcoin, and what brought you also into the business of Bitcoin at the end?
Yes, of course. So I think everybody starts looking at Bitcoin because they want to make more money with Bitcoin than they had before. Like, you want to put 100 euros into Bitcoin and maybe one day it will be 200 or even more. I guess that's the first step, how you find Bitcoin or maybe even crypto in general. And that was like the same for me. My grandpa once bought me some Daimler shares, and then I got my first dividend. I don't know the English word. You know dividend?
Dividends. Yeah.
Dividend, easy. Okay. And then I looked into my account and it was like, okay, crazy. I got money, but I did not work for this money. How does it work? And I was really, really young at this time. And this got everything a little bit going, because then, okay, Daimler Aktien can get me money, but what about maybe Coca-Cola shares? And then maybe you go to another company. And then I was really deep into analyzing all these companies, but it was more like a hobby for me. Yeah, I just wanted to see the numbers of these companies. And then one day I came to Bitcoin because a friend of mine told me, and Bitcoin at this time was about like, I don't know, $2,000 or something like this. And it was really complicated to buy Bitcoin even back then. And I think at $2,000 per Bitcoin, it's not early stage, but it's still early stage. Yeah, but it was really complicated even to set up a Bitcoin wallet, and I did not buy at this time. But I always had it like in mind. And then this friend came back to me when Bitcoin was a little bit higher, and I was like, I don't need it. Whatever. What is this Bitcoin? Okay. And then one day I just put 50 euros years later into Bitcoin, and then these 50 euros got 100 euros, then 25 euros, then maybe 75 euros. The volatility of Bitcoin. Okay. And then I was like, okay, this is crazy stuff. Maybe I should give some more attention to Bitcoin and crypto at this time. Because of course, when you go to Bitcoin, there's always these rumors like Bitcoin can only do 7 transactions per second, and it's too slow, and you could never use it daily. What's not right, but at the beginning, I didn't know anything about the scaling solution of Bitcoin like Lightning. So I did a lot of crypto, but did not really make any money with crypto, because crypto is always, you only have these, in my opinion, like hyped projects. Yeah, some projects get hyped, go to the moon, but go back down to south the same second. And then I stick to Bitcoin, because in my opinion, it's just the best money we know to this day. Like humanity, it's the best money humanity knows to this day. And then I did some educational videos. I guess it's about 200 Bitcoin only educational videos on Instagram and other platforms like TikTok. Then I started with LinkedIn, and this is like this journey took off. It started. Then we started NerdMiner DE. Then I gave some Bitcoin coaching, some wallet coachings, and this kind of stuff. And now I'm sitting here. That's basically the journey.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the relationship with you and money. And we had earlier Susanne Dröbe as our guest, and we talked about the Fix the Family podcast, and how we should talk about money in general in the families and so on. Could you tell a little bit more about your relationship? And you told that your grandfather gave you Daimler shares, so it gives some clue already to that direction. But let us know.
Yes. I never really had a big relationship with money. To be honest, I never really even cared about money till I got these Daimler shares and got the first dividends. But after that there's a way you can make more out of your money even when you're not working, that was like the point for me. Like, what is even money? What is money? And I guess when you go to the streets, sometimes we do these interviews on the streets. Maybe you saw some, maybe not. And we just asked people, what is money? And to be honest, nobody knows what money really is. And then I came to the point, okay, euro is money, but franken and US dollar is also money. But where's the exact difference? And this is how this money story journey started for me. But when I was a kid, I never had anything to do with money. I was happy when I could go to a store and buy some kaugummis or FIFA packs or whatever you collected back then. or buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But to be honest, that's basically it.
Yeah, great. I mean, you're also a YouTuber and posting a lot on Instagram, educational content, you were saying. What was so far one of your biggest takeaways when it comes also on board with regards to onboarding people on Bitcoin? Maybe also you can share some feedback from people who are tumbled through your videos to Bitcoin.
I guess the most important thing is that there's not only one door you can go through to teach someone about Bitcoin. Some just want to make more money. Some guys like maybe mathematics or the physics behind Bitcoin. Some guys come through the energy door, like what is mining? Is Bitcoin wasting energy? So there's not one thing you can tell somebody and then they are convinced like Bitcoin is the best money humanity ever had. I guess it's like also trial and error, like how to sell Bitcoin to someone. But nowadays, I don't want to sell Bitcoin to anybody. If someone's interested, they see my content and then they can come and ask, and I'm happy to discuss the Bitcoin topic with them. But I think a lot of Bitcoiners, I see this a lot of the time, try to force someone into Bitcoin. Like you have to understand it, you have to do it, you have to buy it, you have to do a hardware wallet. And in my opinion, this is not the best way to do it. But what do you guys think? What's the best way to convince someone about Bitcoin?
Yeah, I think everybody is having issues when it comes to inflation or devaluation of money. So I think if a problem appears, you might think, what could be a solution? And you're searching actually for a solution. So in my case, it was really, okay, well, I was working abroad. When do I want to retire, and what kind of money check I do have on my savings account, and how does it develop over time? So this was actually a very I would say determining questions which are in my mind. How can I make sure that at the end, when I want to have, with my family, a good life during my retirement, to have enough savings, and that the money which I have on my savings account is not decreasing in value. This is actually what brought me to Bitcoin, to look out for a plan B. Maybe Kai, you also want to share some of your thoughts.
Sure. Well, I was a computer nerd back in the days, and somehow I stumbled to Bitcoin. And I've always been like a little bit skeptic about the system which we are living in, the society and so on. And maybe this brought me to see the light.
Yeah, true. I guess this is a really important point. You have to ask, is the system still fine that we're living in? And when we look like into politics, these guys are fucking crazy with our money. They're wasting it like, it's unlimited, but it's unlimited for these guys. They can just print it. And maybe in this case, just to improve our system, maybe we should give every politician a fixed amount of money or a fixed amount of Bitcoin, then they can spend it. And I would bet that these guys are using it then way more efficiently than they are doing now, I guess. Yeah.
In Lugano, I had a privilege to see the. By the way, did you visit Lugano last year, Julius?
Not last year. I was there like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay. So I'm not sure if it was a student of Bitcoin or who gave this keynote about Bitcoin without buzzwords. And it struck me like lightning. Because when you are trying to convince someone, it's usually not possible. But when you just talk around the story and go in concrete examples, how you can, have strong money without no money printing, and so on. It was a great keynote.
Okay. Yes, maybe that's also a good point. You don't have to tell the guys that you're talking about Bitcoin. You just have to talk about problems and a solution. And then after you talked a lot to these guys, then you can drop Bitcoin. And I guess the outcome is more likely that these guys try to understand Bitcoin. When you don't say Bitcoin in the first sentence when you're talking about this, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look into the Bitcoin topic, a lot of questions are popping up into your mind, and you're questioning a lot of things. You mentioned, Julius, political systems, economics. I mean, a lot of things are triggered by Bitcoin, at least when I'm looking into my Bitcoin journey. So can you say a little bit more what triggered you, and how did it impact your life?
Mm-hmm. At the moment, to be honest, I'm triggered all the time when I just look at the news. And this is also what keeps me going. I'm really, really interested that we have a lot of really strong individuals. Yeah, I'm pro freedom for individual, because I think a lot of free individuals can become a great group, a bigger group, but a free bigger group. And what we're seeing at the moment is like the exact opposite of what I want for this world. And what was really surprising to me is that I always thought all of us humans are interested in freedom, and the freedom of our neighbor and the next person and the next person. But I guess if we are completely true, that's not the case. Some people are just not interested in having a lot of free individuals, and to be honest, I don't know why. And you can see these things in a lot of regulatory stuff and restrictions and all kinds what we see. And I think the US became a little bit better in this topic, but the EU and Germany is still so far behind in like accepting Bitcoin all over the place. And I don't know why, because the software is open source, and you just could tell the people use it or don't use it. You don't have to force them. Yeah, you can just let the free market decide what to do, but that's not the case anymore. And I guess that's one reason why we have to fight for this freedom money. And with fight, I mean also these podcasts just talk about this topic. Now people can see we're just three normal dudes talking about a topic that we're really interested in. And basically that's it, yeah.
So our Bitcoin bootcamp gives a hint that we are like coming from the sports background, and I have understood, Julius, that you are also active in your life. Could you tell us a little bit about how you see the Bitcoiners' life and how they see the life and the health issues in this current situation? So I have understood that Bitcoiners are often very interested how they eat, how they exercise, and how they extend their life expectancy. So do you see this as well, or am I wrong?
No, I totally see it. And a lot of Bitcoiners I know just improve their whole lives. They're not only buying Bitcoin, but they go to the gym more often, because proof of work. Yeah, you have to put energy in it to get something out. This is like typical proof of work. And this is what we do in the gym. But a lot of Bitcoiners I know also now all these guys now have trust issues, because we're living in a system and we feel like we're constantly lied to. And now these guys and myself as well just start to eat a little bit better. Or is the way we were eating in the past also the right way we should eat in the future? So it's like you have to, with Bitcoin, you can put every aspect of your life, and then you can ask, okay, is it still the right way to do it for me? Brings it health to me, to my family? Or is it just thoughts someone gave to me, put in my mind through TV or through school or whatever? And then you have to constantly ask what we are doing. What are we actually doing, and is it still good for us? But Kai, I know that you also have a powerlifting background. How do you see this topic?
To be exact, I'm a powerlifting coach, so I haven't competed. But I see that there are some similarities around Bitcoiners towards this, how they want to make their lives better. I like your words about this, and this is also a way to spread the word about Bitcoin, to go through sports, maybe.
True, it
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah, and we actually, our first interview was at a butcher, and we had a kind of proof of beef topic, because he used actually as well mining capacity to dry meat, and maybe we can link this this video here on the at this section. How do you actually see because you are also in the mining business, right? And how do you see the sustainability topic? I mean, if somebody is saying to you, mining and Bitcoin is wasting energy, which we could use for other purposes, what do you respond?
What do I respond? In my opinion, Bitcoin is obviously no wasted energy. And the funny thing is, when AI started to take off, nobody was complaining about any electricity waste, but Bitcoin, of course. And now I think AI is using like 3 times more energy than the whole Bitcoin network is using, and nobody's complaining. Okay, that's fine. But this just shows that when people see a use case, it's not about energy. They just want to use it. Okay. And the funny thing about Bitcoin mining and renewable energy sources is, like, for example, I'm living in Munich, and here in Germany, we are like wasting 1 billion euros per year because of too much energy. Yeah, we have like these renewable energies sometimes produce more energy than we people in Germany need. Okay, and then we have to shut down these energy producing like Windräder. Yeah, we have to shut down renewable energies.
Wind wheels, yeah.
Wind wheels, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to save our electricity net. But if you shut down these renewable energies, there comes a cost to it. So we have to pay 1 billion euros tax money every year just because of too much energy. And sometimes you can sell the energy to another country. In my opinion, that's fine as well. But that's not always the case, because other countries also sometimes have too much energy. And what do you do with this energy? Of course, you can like store, or you can save some of this energy, but not everything. Yeah, and you have to build these saving facilities.
Energy
maybe
storages, maybe.
Yeah, sorry because of my bad English. But what you can do instead is just put like a Bitcoin miner into these renewable energy sources. They can like start in milliseconds, then they are on, and then you can use this extra energy, what's waste, what costs you money, and can put it into a machine, and out of this machine comes money and heat. So I don't know why we are not working with a lot of Bitcoin miners here in Germany or all over the place. So in fact, Bitcoin is not wasting energy. Bitcoin is a way that we can build even more renewable energy sources, because it's a lot easier to finance these new renewable energy sources, because in case we have too much energy, we can use it, make money out of it, and also generate heat out of Bitcoin mining.
I have been talking a lot with the BTC Hell guys. You know that in Helsinki we had last year the first mining, Bitcoin conference. Did you, by the way, visit Helsinki that time?
No.
Julius?
No.
Okay, so this year we have a second conference coming. I'm not part of the team, but I have learned that they have a mining day, a business day. They have 3 days event this year, and I have my ticket already, and can't wait to see what's going on there. And in the Nordic countries, we have a very cold winter, you know, and energy is scarce, and we have lots of renewables and also nuclear in Finland, for example. Of course, hydro in Sweden, northern Sweden, and so on. So when we are mining, a lot of energy, a lot of heat is produced. So this is the business which is growing in the northern part of Europe. What do you think about this?
To be honest, I think it's really smart. I also have an old S9 miner here, and in the winter I just switch it on, and then I can heat my living room or whatever. So it's just too easy not to have it, or too easy not to do it. Also, I don't know if you guys know 21 Energy. These are,
Yes.
you know, 21 Energy, yeah. And these guys, in my opinion, are doing a really, really great job. They are located in Austria.
Austrian economy, Austrian business. Yeah.
Austrian business, yes. And their business is going through the roof because these guys are building Bitcoin heaters. And I think it's really, really smart. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. To be honest, I didn't fully get what's the difference between your NerdMiner and the Bitux. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit on your mining products and what is the difference to other miners actually.
Yes, of course. We also sell Bidex, but we put them in a case and we build them with a bigger screen, because the big screen is really important to our clients. They don't want to log into the mining pool and then see all the stats, what their miner is doing. They just want to have it on the screen. So we built one with a screen in the case. And the Bidex is stronger than one of the NerdMiners I just showed you earlier. This the NerdMiner I showed you earlier. This NerdMiner has around 240 or 250 kilo hashes per second. A Bidex has around 1.3 terahash per second. But we also have other miners like the Bitforge Nano Ghost Metal Edition. This one has 2.6 terahashes per second. So we just have different miners.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can choose how much hash rate do you want.
Cool. Very nice.
Yeah, the last one looks very good. Cool. What do you have on the screen? It's not plugged in, but what can you see there?
On this one?
Yeah.
I should switch it on, but you can see a little Satoshi sitting in here. Satoshi
cool.
statue, yeah, and the Bitcoin formula.
It's a formula, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can see it in the screen, and you can also switch colors. Yeah, you can put the colors in and do it orange or blue or whatever. Like you have this little remote controller. Yeah. Right. And you can switch on the colors and use it. And I think it's pretty cool. And also it's metal. I love metal products. Yeah. And I really like it.
Looks really cool.
Thanks. A lot of guys already pre-ordered. So if anyone of our clients listening, thanks for the trust. Yeah. And we are delivering ASAP. Okay.
And we are for sure also putting your website in the description of the video. But where to find you beside the website nerdminer.de, as far as I could oversee that this is the right direction to go to visit your shop.
Yes, nerdminer.de is maybe this is our main shop, but we launched nerdminer.ch in Switzerland last week. So you can also find it there if you're from Switzerland. We are in a few online shops in Switzerland already. You can find us there. We're also in the shop of Mark, Bitcoin Hotel. But I guess the most easy one is just nerdminer.de.
So I think we should maybe wrap up for this time. And of course, in the audience, if you have more questions to Julius or us two hosts, let us know.